Hi, welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Islamic legalism and Christian virtue ethics. So that's one of the big differences in between Islam and Christianity, because Islam is very legalistic. There's many rules, many sunnah in the hadith, teachings in the life of Muhammad, very many things like there's many rules listed out that Muslims follow. Like when you pass a threshold, cross with your right foot. When you leave, cross with your left. After you say the name of Muhammad, you have to say Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You know, it is what it is. There's many rules written out like that. Many laws involving marriage, involving Sharia, involving the way you believe Allah would like it. Oh yeah, and one of those rules is after you say the name of Allah, you have to say Subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is what it is. But in Christianity, we don't worry about such minor things because we go by something called virtue ethics. Now, this isn't to say Christianity is a changing religion, which I've heard Muslims say. My Muslim friends, they say Christianity is a changing religion. Islam never changed. But what is taught by the apostles in the New Testament is that as Christians, we must change to our culture, but not sin. It is like when Paul in Corinthians, when he said that a man with long hair is surely a disgrace, he was talking about in that culture because it wasn't common in that culture. He was saying adjust to your culture without sinning. And that makes sense. When you're a woman in a culture where women cover their heads in church, cover your head in church if you're a woman. Adjust to your culture in that way. That isn't to say believe that a sin is okay because that sin is prevalent in your culture. Like don't go to Saudi Arabia and then just say the Shahada because that's the culture. Don't say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Don't do that because that's attributing other gods. That's idolatry. So that's pretty much what it is. Christianity, there isn't an absolute teaching. There isn't absolute laws. Now there are the Old Testament laws, but those were for the Jewish people at the time. But Christians, we do follow the laws where it says this is an abomination unto the Lord. That's why many Christians believe that gay marriage is a sin, because it says a man shall not lie with a man as one does with a woman. All who do so are an abomination unto the Lord. And the New Testament in Revelation, it says that no abomination will enter the New Jerusalem. So what virtue ethics in Christianity is that there are some, but it's not a long list of absolute laws. It's more so when Jesus said the greatest commandments are love one another as you love yourself and love God with all your heart, soul, strength, and might. Jesus said those are the two greatest commandments, so we should attribute that to our life. And if you love God, you won't sin. It's clear that if you love God, you'll follow the Sabbath. You won't commit idolatry by worshiping other gods. And it's also clear that if you love others as yourself, you wouldn't murder them or steal from them or do things that are sins to them. You wouldn't lust after them. You wouldn't do all these things. Now, there are some things Jesus said, like in Matthew 5 and 6, when he was talking about murder and idolatry. I mean, not idolatry, but when he talked about swearing, do not swear by anything, for you cannot make one hair on your head white or black. Or when he said, you have heard it said from the people long ago, thou shalt not murder, and anyone who murders will be subject to judgment. But I tell you that anyone who is angry with a brother or sister without just cause is guilty. And then, the thing he said about divorce, any man who divorces his wife except for sexual immorality and marries another commits adultery, and any man who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. There are some laws like that. Those are the teachings of Jesus. That's how you live your life. But it's not strict legalism like in the Quran and Hadith, where it says do this, don't do that. That's what pagans do. It's things like that. It's saying don't do what the pagans do in the Bible. In Bible, it implies that we shouldn't do as disbelievers do, but it's not absolute things that disbelievers do, like getting a fade or wearing earrings or whatever. Christians can wear earrings because that's just a cultural thing. It's like A good way of comparing it is the Bible says in Deuteronomy 22, verse 5, uh, a woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, and a man shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a woman. All who do so are an abomination unto the Lord. Now, whatever is considered man's and woman's clothes, that changes due to culture. You know, a dress that's considered female attire in my culture, but you know, gym shorts or whatever, a man or a woman could wear that according to God's law because it's not really masculine or feminine anymore. So many women wear it. So it really is changing in that way because our views of what is women's and men's clothes change over the years. But if that kind of law were in the Quran or the Hadith, it would probably say something like a man should not wear this specific attire or this specific attire, and a woman shall not wear this specific attire or this specific attire. But yeah, I hear a lot of Muslims like Andrew Tate. They say, well, Andrew Tate said he converted to Islam because it's such an absolute religion, you know. It's strict. You know, you pray 5 times a day, you recite a specific thing, you recite Surat al-Fatiha in your prayer, you know, you do all these things. It's an absolute thing, and that's how he believes God should work. But no, it's clear from the Bible that we should adjust to our culture without sinning. Have a good day.